Hey guys, it's the nerd half of this Nerdtroverts duo, and this week I'm participating in the Reading Rush. So the Reading Rush is this readathon thing that's hosted. I don't actually know all that much about it, but my friend brought it up and was like, are you doing this? And I was like, you know what, why not? I don't have much else to do and I really want to do some more reading, so I'm participating in this Reading Rush. So these are the challenges here on my phone. I don't have every single book picked out, but I'm just kind of gonna see what happens during the week. Some of the books that I do have picked out is So This Is Love, which is a retelling of Cinderella, which fits one of the challenges. I have Of Fire and Stars, which is just a book that I just really want to read. I have The Nowhere Child, which should fit two criteria of a book starting with the and also of a genre I want to read more of, as it's like adult mystery fiction or something. And in the back, I don't know if you can see that back there, but it's a bunch of books that I have yet to read, and it's gonna fit the challenge of the first book that I touch. I'm gonna put them in a circle all around me at some point and spin around and then touch one and then read it, and I'm really hoping that it's a book that I like. I will talk about the books and the challenges as I come to them, but yeah, I'm just gonna be enjoying my time doing some extra reading this week. It has been literal hours since I filmed the introduction clip. I was going to read at lunchtime and then I didn't, so I had nothing to film, but I am hoping to read now. And the first book that I'm going to read for this reading rush is So This Is Love, A Twisted Tale by Elizabeth Lim. And this fits the challenge for read a book based off of a movie you've seen. So this is a Cinderella retelling of if she was never able to try on the slipper at the end of the movie, and she goes to work as a seamstress, I think, at the palace, and like she finds a conspiracy or something. But Cinderella is my favourite Disney princess movie, so I am very excited to read this and see what it's like. It's a big book for what it is, I think, but I think it'll be an easy read, and I'm excited to see what it's like. It is 5:10 at night on day one, and I have read nothing, so let's change that. So it is 3 hours later and I have finished So This Is Love. I'm thinking I might give it maybe a 4 out of 5 stars. It's not like a perfect book by any means. It wraps up quite quickly and like a little too perfectly. And honestly, the king is like sick like this entire book, and then in the end he's fine. I enjoyed it. It was a good book. There was a few moments that I was like, oh come on, really? But I just didn't want to put it down. I really enjoyed my time with it, so I'm thinking 4 out of 5 is probably a good rating to give it. I don't know if I'm going to pick up another book tonight. I suppose we will see, but I really enjoyed my time with So This Is Love, and since it only cost me like $10, like totally worth it. I mean, you have to take it for what it is. It is a book based on a Disney princess movie. It is a little too perfect in some respects, and it is not at all a difficult book to read. It is very simple, but it was enjoyable, it was fun, and I actually really enjoyed the story. It was an interesting take on what could have happened and on all the characters, I guess, but I enjoyed reading it. It was good. I liked it. One book down. Let's see how many more I can read before the week is out. So it is the next night, I guess. It's no longer day, it is now night. And I have chosen my next book and also read half of it. The next book I picked up is The Nowhere Child by Christian White, which fills the prompt of read a book starting with the word the, and also a genre you want to read more of, which is like adult mystery thriller, I guess. Is that what this would be? This book is about a woman who discovers that she is like this missing child from a case from like 20 or 30 years ago, and she goes to like find the family and talk to them and stuff, and I don't know, it's told in like flashbacks and like present day, so that's kind of interesting, I guess. I'm like 200 pages in. It's okay, it's not my favorite, but it's not a horrible story either, so I'm, you know, I'm getting through it. Also, sorry that like every single clip is just like me inside this room and like on my bed, but like I don't really have anywhere else to read. So like this is just where all of the clips of my vlogs are always going to be, is just the same spot on my bed. And also my dog, because she's adorable. Sasha. He looks so angry at me. It is a little bit later and I have finally finished The Nowhere Child. I don't have much to say about this book. I mean, it was interesting and I liked the way the mystery was crafted, and you're like, oh, that's the truth, and then it kind of gets flipped. Like, I wasn't anticipating what happened. Like, I was shocked. I didn't really guess what was happening. I was just kind of confused the whole way and just kind of just going with the flow, which I guess was cool. I don't usually do that in books. I usually try and like guess the big reveal, but I didn't really actively try, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it made for an interesting read. I don't really have many complaints about this book. I mean, I read it pretty quickly. It was good. I'm not like super in love with the book. I don't know, I think the present day characters were a bit flat and two-dimensional in my opinion, whereas like the characters of the past had a lot more to them, and I was a lot more invested in the past story than I was in the present story. So I don't know what that says, but book 2 complete, and another challenge, or 2 challenges complete. So now I have to pick the next book to read. Wish me luck. I know there's not a lot of light in this shot, but I am just like desperately trying to get a shot filmed while the sun is out and it's setting. So I'm gonna have to turn my light on. I was hoping to get something filmed during the day today and I failed. To be fair, I was working today, but I've also been off work for like 2 hours and I haven't done anything. Today, while I was working, some books came for me, so I'm gonna open up my package. I already know what's in there, but like, just for funsies. So here's my package. How does one open this? True question. It is blue! Yes! So the 2 books that I've ordered is Yes, Snow, Maybe Snow. This page ripped. It's bent! Oh, I'm upset. Okay. So the first book that I've gotten is Yes, No, Maybe So by Becky Albertalli and Aisha Saeed, I think is how you say that. And also Love Creekwood by Becky Albertalli, which is like a little novella sequel to Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, aka Love, Simon, and Leah on the Offbeat. I think it follows those characters. I don't know if it follows the upside of Unrequited or not. We will see. So these are the 2 books that I've gotten that I am hoping to include in this challenge. I'm going to be reading Yes, No, Maybe So as part of the Read a Book the Same Colour as Your Birthstone. I had this fear it was going to be yellow because I think the paperback version is yellow, but this version is blue, so it's okay. And I'm going to be using Love Creekwood as the book I read entirely outside my house because it's like 100 pages. and it will not take me long to read because I think it's an email format. So I don't have to be outside of my house very long. But the next book that I actually want to read is Of Fire and Stars. So I should probably do that. I don't know what that's going to be a challenge for, because that was my backup for the Same Colour as Your Birthstone. So I don't know what challenge it's going to be. Because I don't want to use a fantasy world as like the reader book set in a different country, because I don't think it counts when it's fantasy. But like both of these is going to count for that. Like literally any other book I have that's not fantasy will count. This is the next book that I'm about to start reading, Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Colthurst, which is about a forbidden romance between two women in a fantasy world. Not because they are two women, because that's not a problem in this world, but because one of them is engaged to the other's brother. It's kind of all I know. I am like 50 pages into this book and I think I just got the biggest shock ever. Like I was not expecting that at all. I like genuine shock. I like stared gaping like a fish at this page for like probably like 30 seconds of just actual genuine shock. Holy shit. Otherwise I'm liking the book just fine. It's pretty slow. Like I'm not sort of devouring it at the same pace as I have been other books. I can tell it's definitely a slow burn of a romance. But I'm intrigued. I'm liking the characters. I'm not quite sure what to make of the prince. He's interesting because he can be like kind and considerate, but he's also very like flippant and non-considerate. I don't know, he's I'm intrigued to see more of him and his relationship with Mare, because I can't tell if he like genuinely dislikes her or if he's just like annoyed at his older sister, you know, like I'm trying to figure out the difference there. But yeah, I'm only about 50 pages in, so I'm going to keep reading and hopefully this shock will make a little bit more sense. So I just wanted to give you a little update. It's still on the same night as before. I am now like 120 pages in, so I'm still like a third through the book, if that. I'm not super far in, as you can probably see. It is like a 300-400 page book and I'm only like 100 pages in. And I'm enjoying it. I am, but it is just a lot slower of a read than I was anticipating. I don't know if I should keep reading it because I'm not, I mean like I will finish it and I will read it absolutely, but I don't know if I should do it this week because it doesn't actually really fulfill a challenge. Like if I stretched it, it could probably feel the challenge of read a book with the same colour as your birthstone or whatever, because like as a December baby I have like 3 and it's like turquoise, zircon and something else, and it's all essentially just like light blue is kind of my birthstone, but it's not a light blue, but it's kind of a turquoisey blue, kind of. It's not turquoise, but it's a greeny blue, the cover. So, but I don't know if I could get away with it. And I don't know. Because I do really want to keep reading it, but I also want to do this reading challenge properly because I've never done one before. I'm conflicted. Other thoughts on the book though, I am enjoying it. I do like the world that's set up. There's a character in this book that is just so shady. Oh my god. And I'm like, I would trust him if he wasn't so goddamn suspicious all of the time. So I do not trust him. Definitely think he's doing magic. There's like a moment where someone points out that like every time he has a conversation with one of the protagonists that he like is constantly like rubbing his ring. And because there's magic in this world, I'm like, is there such a thing as like magic that can persuade people to like listen to you and to trust you? And I just don't know if he's like being suspicious, because then he like they were attacked and he like wanted to like search her room. Like he escorted her back to the room and was like, oh, we should check to make sure no one's there, and like was like insistent on it, but I don't know if it was like in a creepy way or like what it was. I don't know. I don't trust him. There's something about him that I don't trust. He could be a red herring. Absolutely. But I think there's someone else that's meant to be the red herring. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see. As I keep reading. So I might keep reading. I know that tomorrow I want to read Love Creekwood, which is the really short book that I got today, because I will take it to the shopping centre and read it. So I can complete the challenge for read a book completely outside of your house, and I will read it there. And I'll just like go and just, it feels weird to loiter somewhere because the time, like you just don't loiter. And so I'm nervous because cases have been picking up. Like I'm not nervous of catching it necessarily, like I'm gonna be cautious, but like I don't want to be the asshole that's like loitering in the food court. But we'll see, I guess. I'll take it with me, and if not, I'll just read it in the car park or something, because I'll be out of my house. So that's what I want to do tomorrow. I don't think I'll finish A Fire and Stars tonight. It's like 10 o'clock at night. Nope, it's 11 o'clock at night. And I am working tomorrow. But this is just me letting you know that I might be swapping books. Actually, I wanted tonight to choose. There's a, one of the challenges is the first book that you touch, and so I've gathered all of my unread books and I'm going to spread them all out around me and pick one. And I'm nervous because there's books that I really don't want to read that are in there, like classics and stuff, and I don't know whether or not I should take them out and just pick books that I kind of want to read. But I'm like, I might never read these books otherwise, so like maybe it'll give me a go. Or if I pick a classic, I might not put the classics in. Classics are not something I can read in a rush. Classics are pains in the arse, let's be honest. They're pains in the arse to read. So I'm gonna go do that, and maybe I'll do that now. And then see what it is, and maybe I'll pick that up, and maybe I'll, yeah, who knows, we'll see. Let's find out. So as you can see, I have a lot of unread books that I am going to choose from. I'm going to spin around and pick one. Oh my god. I kind of touched one, but I don't know which one I touched. Oh no! I wonder if I can see it in the footage. I'll see if I can see it in the footage. Okay, so from reviewing the footage, it looked like I touched Assassin's Creed Renaissance, which is like a massive relief. I was 2 away from picking Emma by Jane Austen, so like, bullet budged is what I just said. Bullet dodged is what I meant to say. And the book I touched is Assassin's Creed Renaissance by Oliver Bowden, and it's a tie-in to the Assassin's Creed games, which I really enjoyed. And I bought a box set of Assassin's Creed books years ago and never read them. But it follows Ezio, who's my favourite assassin, so like I'm low-key excited to read it now. Okay, so it is the next day. I am officially finished with my work for today. I probably could have finished like an hour ago, but doesn't matter. At lunchtime today I did start Assassin's Creed Renaissance. I'm only like, yeah, I'm like 14 pages in because my lunch break was up. It honest to God just really makes me want to play the game again, so like I have a feeling I'm going to be starting Assassin's Creed 2 again because it's such a great game. But I'm planning on going into the shops, as I said yesterday, and complete the challenge for read a book entirely outside of your house. And so I'm going to take Love Creekwood with me and read that in its whole 100-page glory at the shopping centre whilst doing a little bit of shopping. So that's my plan, and then I'll be home by tonight, and I'll probably keep going with Assassin's Creed Renaissance. Maybe not, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's my plan, so I am gonna go ahead and do that. I've stopped reading A Fire and Stars for now. I might come back to it this week, I might not. We'll see how the week goes. But for now, I've put it down and I will pick it up later. I will definitely pick it up again, just not right now while I'm trying to do challenges. So I am back home now and I've had dinner. I've been home for a while. But so I finished Love Creekwood. Unfortunately I have nail polish on because I put on nail polish last night. I scuffed the hardback of the book when I was shoving it in my bag, and I thought I could take it off with nail polish because that works on like every other thing that I scuff, but it just doesn't work on this material, so I ruined my hardback. So I'm going to put it back in its sleeve and pretend that everything's fine. So again, this book didn't take me at all long to read because it's only about 100 pages and it's written entirely in email format. So it's not a difficult read like at all. And it was very cute. I liked it. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 stars because I adored it. It wasn't like it was not predictable, but I very much enjoyed it, and it was just very nice to be able to go back into like the Simon verse and enjoy the cuteness that is Simon and Bram, and also Leah and Abby. Oh, spoilers for Leah on the offbeat. But yeah, it was nice, and I really enjoyed my time with it. And so now I'm going to read Assassin's Creed Renaissance for as long as I can, and hopefully have a bath soon. And yeah, oh, I also bought a book. I should show you that I bought a book because that's book related. So while I was in QBD, which is like a local bookstore, I was just looking around, but I don't usually buy stuff like in person from bookstores because I like getting hardbacks and particular covers, and in Australia it's almost always paperback covers that you get. But as I was literally leaving, but I was going through like the designated exit because of the world there's an entry and an exit, and I spotted Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern for $14 in this beautiful hardback. I do own the Night Circus, but I own it in a paperback and it was gifted to me, and I'm pretty sure they'd bought it from like a second-hand place, so it's like pretty scuffed, and this is really pretty. I've completed the book challenge for read a book entirely outside of your house, which I did. I spent a whole last time sitting in the food court reading my book while these like teenagers like were being really weird next to me. I don't know what they were talking about, but it was really weird and really distracting, which is why it took me so long. Productive day. Finished a book. Challenge done. Hopefully I can finish another one. Probably not. We'll see. So it is still the same night. I just wanted to make a little comment as I'm now about 30 pages in to Assassin's Creed. So not far at all. But I just, man, it works so much better as a game. It's so much more engaging. And because I've played through Assassin's Creed 2 a couple of times, I'm hearing it in the characters' voices, which is fun. But I'm also like seeing the cutscenes. I can literally see the moment it goes from cutscene to gameplay back to cutscene. And I don't know how much I'm enjoying that in a book, because it just makes it feel really like disjointed, I think. I don't know. Like, I feel like if I'd read this first, it would have been okay, but I've played the games enough. Like, I played it on the original PS3 version, and then I've also got like the Ezio collection on PS4, and I absolutely adore the Ezio stories. I adore Assassin's Creed 2, and I adore Brotherhood, and also Revelations is also pretty good. And so I'm like, man, like I know the story so well, and I thought reading it would be good, but it's just, also this book is huge. This book is like 500 pages. Which makes sense because it's a pretty intricate story with a lot of time skips, but I'm kind of regretting picking this book now. I kind of wish I pretended I'd picked another one. But yes, I just wanted to give you a little update on how I'm going. I'm going to try and read a bunch, but I'm just finding it difficult because I've played the game and because I love this game so much. I guess I'm just struggling with it in a written perspective because it's not the media I usually consume it through. So I'm just struggling a little bit. I love how right now I could be reading a book, but instead I decided to open up my laptop and I'm about to buy 3 new books at 12:30 in the morning because I have nothing better to do but buy books, because that's all I ever want in life. The pricing of books kind of sucks at the moment because of, you know, the world being what it is right now. I should actually make sure that they're shipping here. So I'm buying from Book Depository, which is UK based, and I'm from Australia. There is an Australian based online book thing with the prices are basically the same, but you pay for shipping, and I feel like if I'm spending $80 on books, I don't want to spend another $10 on shipping. Like, it's just ridiculous. Okay, so it's just going to take longer. It's just going to take, it's just going to take basically a month to get here from when I order it. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, I have Nick and Charlie coming soon. When does that come out? It comes out in like 2 weeks. Oh, I'm excited for Nick and Charlie. I'm so excited. I've already bought that though, so I don't have to buy it again. Yeah, I just don't really, I'm happy to like wait a bit longer because I've got other stuff to go through. I've still got a few books to tide me over for the month, I guess. But yeah, I will show you the books that I'm thinking of getting. This is the first book I'm thinking about getting, which is basically, I don't actually know the story. I've seen this book everywhere. It doesn't have great reviews on Goodreads, but I still want to give it a go because it looks like a cute story and I really like the cover. It's really pretty. The next book is this one, which is like a fake dating turned real dating story between like a punk and like a respectable person, I guess. And that's not out yet. Unfortunately, it's only in paperback. Kind of like Red, White and Royal Blue, I guess. I think it's an adult fiction novel, and that would be why. Because for some reason, adult fiction novels, I guess, just don't have, like, romance novels just don't have hardbacks, which is really frustrating. And last is If We Were Us, which is high school, and it's about, like, a set of best friends who everyone thinks is going to get together, and then they decide, they meet other people, and they're worried about it, and yeah, I don't know a lot of details, but I'm excited to see what it's like. So yes, I think I'm going to buy these books, because I really want them. I wish Boyfriend Material came out in hardback, but I can't find anywhere that does. So I'm assuming it's like Red, White and Royal Blue, which is an adult romance novel, which was only available and is still only available in paperback, which makes the book cheaper, but just less pretty, which is a shame. Red, White and Royal Blue would look so much nicer on my bookshelf if it was a hardcover. Like, I can just... You can't even really see it right now because my bookshelf is a mess, but I just know what it looks like in my head. But I think I'm going to buy these books because I want to, and it's midnight, so I have less control over spending money. I spent like $200 once at like 2 a.m. Just like online shopping. Like a fool. Alright, I bought those books. It is scary easy to buy things online, and for money to just leave my account as quickly as it enters it. I haven't read anymore, but I just wanted to tell you about buying books because this is a video all about books. Every time I read books, I'm like, now I can buy more because I read some. I'm enjoying my book so far. It's picked up a little bit more. I don't know why I keep making so many updates for this one book. Maybe it's just because I'm not, I don't know. I find like I'll make more updates like the less interested in something I am, because like I just want to do something else other than read. It's not that I'm not interested in Assassin's Creed, it's just I already know the story, and I much prefer playing the game than I probably do like reading the story. Like, it's not badly written or anything like that, like it's fine, but I'm just not as engaged because I kind of already know what happens next one. Like, ooh, how's he going to avenge his family? I'm like, wait, well I know how because I did it. I walked up to the guy and I pressed square and it stabbed him. You know, like I didn't have to think about it. Anyway, I'm going to go to bed. I'm not. I'm probably going to be up for another 2 hours, but I'm going to turn the camera off so you can pretend, if you wish, that I go to bed at a sensible time. You can pretend this is being filmed at like 6 o'clock and not 12 o'clock. Okay, so it is Saturday night, it's like 9 o'clock, and I haven't really read anything, but I have a good reason. I read a little bit at lunch yesterday, but then I finished work and I had a migraine, so I went to bed, and then I woke up this morning and I still had a migraine, so I was in bed until like 6 o'clock. So I haven't really read anything. I'm 157 pages into Assassin's Creed, and like I can keep reading, but the chances of me finishing this book by tomorrow night is like slim to none. Like that's just not gonna happen. Especially since I'll be playing D&D all day tomorrow, like from like midday till like dinner. Probably play for 6 hours. So I don't don't really know if I'm gonna get any more reading done, really. So that's shit. There's always another reading challenge I could do. There's always next year. I can always try again another time. I'm just a little bit bummed about it, but I do not control the migraines. So yeah, that's my Saturday update, I guess. And also my Friday one, because I didn't really film anything Friday except of me reading. So this is why I haven't been reading. I've been sick. That's why I'm sitting on the floor in my room in my dressing gown at 9 o'clock at night. I'll probably check in again tomorrow if there's anything to update you with. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Cross your fingers for me, but don't be too hopeful because I don't think I'm going to finish this book. Okay, so it is Sunday night. It is 10:30 and I have made very minimal progress on Assassin's Creed. I want it on the record that I never said that I would make smart decisions, because I didn't. After being sick all day Saturday and sleeping all day Saturday, I somehow ended up staying awake until about 7 a.m. this morning. Like, did not like, oh, I woke up at 7 a.m. and it was great. No. Went to sleep at 7 a.m. this morning and then woke up at 10. Which then was pushed to 11. And then I was like, okay, I really need to get up now. Because that's just what I do, apparently. And I wasn't even reading. That is the worst part. I kept telling myself, I'm going to get up, I'm going to grab my book, and I'm going to read. And then I just stayed on my phone. But despite that, I did make a little bit more progress. And I'm on like page 210, I think, of Assassin's Creed. So my thoughts on this is that it's a fine book. I have no problems with the book. It's just, I've already experienced this story multiple times in the form of the game, and I really enjoyed the game a lot better because, I don't know, you just get to like immerse yourself in the world and actually like do the actions that Ezio does, so I much prefer playing the game. But if you never play the game but you still want to like know the story, this is a great way to do that. And I'm actually going to do that, I think, for like game 4 onwards, because I'm up to Assassin's Creed 4, but I'm really bad at it. So I'm thinking I'll just like read the books and enjoy the stories, and then I won't feel so guilty if I skip a game or two because I'm like incapable of completing it for like my complete lack of skills. I'll probably still finish this book. Like, there's enough like little details and little instances that you don't get in the game that's enough to make me want to like continue the book and finish it. But I don't know if I'm going to be like jumping at the chance to read the books of the games that I've already played, if that makes sense. Also though, you cannot tell me that this is not the love story of Ezio and Leo, because it is. Like, I don't even care if it's one-sided. It's not one-sided, because it's definitely like reciprocated love. But like, there is just instances, like there's a bit where like Leonardo's like, I'll do anything for you, Ezio, and I'm like, is this not supposed to be a love story? I'm sorry. Am I supposed to be like, yeah, they're just bros. Just bros who help each other out. And there's like so much attention to the moments together. And I'm like, is this not meant to be love? I don't understand. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a bit more detail to like Ezio's thoughts, and it's less drawn out. Like, there are like some missions in the game that take a while that are pretty quick in the book. Like, the catacombs go pretty quickly, whereas like in the game it's like a full like 10 minutes of like stealthing and killing. Whereas in the book he just kind of like gets to where he needs to be because they don't need to add in like extra gameplay. So that was kind of nice, but there are also moments that's like drawn out a little differently, and I'm like, ooh, probably should be like a little bit more suspense. But I'm enjoying it, and like, it's a fine book to read. Like, I don't really have many critiques about the writing style. There's nothing necessarily like amazing about it, but I don't hate it either, so like it's fine. It's just because I already know the story, I'm not like excited to continue because I know what happens. I know like every detail that happens. I've played Assassin's Creed 2 3 times over, I want to say, at least 3 times over. And probably 4 by the time I finish this book, because knowing me, I'm going to want to pick it up again. Anyway, yeah, So I don't think I'm gonna read much more tonight. Like I might, like there's a couple hours, but honestly I'm tired. I had what, like 5 hours of sleep? 7, 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10. I had like 4 hours of sleep somehow. And then I played 6 hours of Dungeons and Dragons, so like I might just put the book down and just like read it another time. But I figured like I might as well just wrap up this vlog because I don't think I'm gonna really want to do it tomorrow. So I thought I'd just do a really quick overview and say again all the books that I either finished or started this week, and then I will figure out my total page count. The first book that I read this week is So This Is Love by Elizabeth Lim, which is a Cinderella retelling. When I say retelling, it's more like if this one specific thing hadn't happened, how would the story go? That's what this is. This book completed the challenge for read a book based on a movie you've already seen. This book was 411 pages. The next book that I read was The Nowhere Child by Christina White. This book completes the challenges of read a book starting with the word the, and also read a book in a genre you've always wanted to read more of. And the genre is just adult mystery, I guess, because I mostly read YA, and specifically fantasy YA more than anything. So that is 2 challenges completed with 1 book. This book was 368 pages long. The next book that I started is A Fire and Stars by Audrey Colthurst. This book did not complete a challenge, and I also did not complete this book. But of the book that I did read, I read 170 pages. The next book that I read this week is Love Creekwood by Becky Albertalli. This book completes the challenge for read a book entirely outside of your house, as I read this book entirely outside of my house. And this book is 111 pages long. And the last book that I started this week but did not finish is Assassin's Creed Renaissance by Oliver Bowden. This book would have completed the challenges of read the first book that you touch and also read a book set on a different continent than you were on, as it's set in Europe and I'm in Australia. But alas, I did not finish this book and therefore do not get the brownie points or the completed challenge. But of this book, I did read 209 pages. So all up this week, I read 1,269 pages. And you know what? That's pretty damn good, especially since there was an entire day when I was not reading at all because I was way too sick. And also that I was working through most of the week. This is the first time I have ever done a reading challenge, and I wasn't really sure what to expect. I don't think I really did it properly. I think there was like a bit more to it than I was supposed to do. But honestly, I was just following the challenges and trying to read best I could. And this is what I ended up with. But I just wanted to say thank you for coming along on this little vlog with me. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have read any of these books, let me know what you think. I don't really know what else there is to say. I am going off of 5 hours of sleep, 6 hours of intense Dungeons and Dragons, and like another, how many hours has it been? Another 5 hours of like mind-numbing YouTube. So like my brain is kind of fried. But I read a lot. I'm pretty happy with what I managed to get through. Maybe next time I'll do better. Maybe I won't. Maybe there won't be a next time. Who knows anymore? But I do aim to read a lot more this year. Been kind of slack, but hopefully it gets better. And I guess thank you for coming along on this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye guys!